All right. Good morning. We are working on training for case notes and daily activity sheets for a behavioral health program. And we have with us today Ms. Kenyatta Kaiser, and she's
Hello.
going to be just kind of going through what the daily activity sheets look like, how those are filled out in the course of a day or course of a program. And then she's also going to be going over the case notes as well, and how to fill out those forms. So Ms. Kenyatta, if you can say hello and give us, again, we always do the quick intro about yourself, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it.
Hello, I'm Kenyatta Kaiser, and I am over the youth and women programming with Here Is My Turning Point. I am going to be covering how we fill out the daily activity sheets from the behavioral health programming, and also how we complete the case progress notes. So Mr. Peterson will be giving me examples of activities that you guys do, and we will all together kind of come up with how we would complete those case notes.
All right. So I'm going to pull up a case note file, and welcome, Catherine. Welcome, Ms. Murray. I'll pull up a case note file. And then we can.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Okay, so here's a daily activity sheet file, and Ms. Kiana, you can take it from there.
Okay, so with filling these out, there are two ways that these are going to be filled out. So when you're doing the daily activity sheets, whoever is completing it, the staff, it should be only one staff person on each sheet. So the staff member would put their name on the top. You don't necessarily have to put your NPI number because I have your NPI numbers. But if you want them to get in the practice of learning their NPIs, they can do that. So if you see the roster, everybody's NPI numbers have been being added to that. They will put the date, and then so the date will be the day that you actually start this activity sheet, because there are two ways that in which we use the activity sheet. So you would circle which discipline, whether it's mental health or SUD. So we're going to always pretty much be doing mental health services. We don't do a lot of substance use disorder. And let's give an example that this daily activity sheet is for a group. Now, when the daily activity sheet is for group only, you would put everybody who participated in that group, list them individually. So everybody who showed up, and we do keep a sign-in sheet. So when they come in, have them sign in a sign-in sheet. I will send you one so you can have one to use. So let them sign in to the sign-in sheet, and you will have a list of your clients, so you will know like what their insurance is, whether they got Buckeye, Molina, Medicaid, Anthem, Aetna. And then you will put the date of the group. So, because this is a group one, everybody's date of service will be the same, right? Oh, I keep touching the screen because I want to make it move. And our groups, our day treatment groups is service code is H2020. You see where it says TBS Day Treatment Group is H2020. So you will put that group on there. You will put the place of service as either 11 or So this is, or so this service cannot be done in a community per se. It can be done at a place of service 53, a community behavioral health. But that I don't know why that's not on this list. It just isn't. It's not on there.
What number was that?
It would be 53.
53.
What's 53? What's 53 again?
Community behavioral health. And that's what we are. We're a community behavioral health agency.
So would we be doing that in the same place? Would we be 53?
Yeah,
Or-
it would be it would be 11 or 53.
So what about the daycare, Kenyatta? What number would they use?
The daycare would be you could list it as the school like 03.
Okay. And the church, if they're doing it at the church always, and
It would also like kind of fall under 03.
Could you do
Okay.
can you do O2 with this? Telehealth?
Yes, because you're gonna be doing telehealth. You
can
could do it as telehealth.
And then you could
and
also
remember
do,
they all got the
What
same
about-
place of service.
right, but what about so office? When they say office, what does that mean? It's like
One of the provider sites will be considered
Okay.
the office.
so if
I
we're
was-
if we're at the activity center, Catherine, that would be considered we would be considered
The
office.
office.
So if we're at the daycare, it's going to be considered O3. And then if we do a telehealth, it's considered O2. Got it.
Second, I want to pull up this. I feel like I sent it, but I wanted to make sure. I know I sent it to Danielle, but I wanted to pull up something real quick. Because I want to tell you on the actual OAC code, it tells us everywhere that it could be performed. So I'm about to just pull it up so I can tell y'all for each individual service.
Are you able to share your screen?
Hold on. I was pulling it up on my other computer, but yeah, I can. Hold on. Well, I don't know if necessarily everybody gotta, but
No, you know
Yeah,
what
I
I can
could
do.
do
on my end. What's the OA? Give me the OAC code as you're looking it up.
I'm about to just resend you this. I think I sent it to you before, but I don't know if you have it.
Okay.
So let me forward this to you. Okay, so that should be coming to you. Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
I
Okay.
tapped some. Okay, here we go.
It takes a while.
Yeah, dude, it's
Send it to
going.
the back. You send it to the back office services.
Yep.
Okay. So in the meantime, let's just continue going through this form until it gets here. Let me pull the screen back up. Okay. All right. So we got the places of service, and then
And this is for a group, remember, so everybody would have the same place of service. So if we're saying this, we did it in office, everybody's will be 11.
okay.
And then you will put the start time for the group. So say the group started at 4:00, we have to keep in mind this H2020 code requires a minimum 2.5 hours. So 2.5.
Got it.
So then they always ask for the minutes, which seems weird, but it's they do this because usually in the units for billing to Medicaid, it is like 15-minute increments, but not every service, but it still needs to be converted in minutes for everybody. So clients, any new clients, they would have a new diagnosis. that if they haven't had an assessment yet and they come in a group, the diagnosis we would originally bill for is what the referring diagnosis was. So if they have adjustment disorder, if that's the referring diagnosis, that's what you would put there. And the diagnoses aren't listed here. No,
Yeah.
those are the service
Service
codes.
codes? Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha.
So I would show y'all when in the system it'll have all the diagnosis codes loaded, so they would be able to go and pull up the diagnosis code for
Okay,
the client.
got it.
So if it was like opioid addiction 511.20, that would be it. You get what I'm saying? So every time the diagnosis is going to be based off what's in their treatment plan, or if they haven't had the assessment yet, what their referring diagnosis was.
Okay. Right. So that is, any questions about the daily activity sheet? I know, Catherine, you're going to be, I know we got some folks on that are actually going to be doing this. Is this pretty straightforward, or are there any questions about how we fill this out?
Well, it's
No, that's pretty.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Well, this is just when it's group. Now, this daily activity sheet is gonna change when it's individual. So if they're doing services such as CPST, which is the H0036, they're only gonna they're gonna have a different activity sheet per insurance. So say if Tom, Edward, and John all had Care Source, they will be on this activity sheet. It could be different dates of service, but their stuff will all go on this sheet. And what I suggest the case managers do is have a separate sheet for everybody.
A separate daily activity sheet for everybody.
Unless it's like, so if y'all sending over in the beginning, I wouldn't do that. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, because we want to bill every day. I'm sorry, I didn't think that through. I will so all the clients that have the same insurance, put them on one sheet, because we will want these to come over daily so that we could get the billing in daily.
Were you saying that you think we should keep an individual for the for them, so for our own records, like just to keep track well of what is going on individually with them personally, and then for billing purposes, put them all on there for the insurance?
Yes. So then that way, because when the insurance is entered, what they like to do, they're gonna work on bill all Care Source at one time. They're gonna bill all Buckeye at one time. They're gonna bill all Molina at one time. But if they gotta search through all the sheets to find who is just confusing, when they can just go on your daily activity sheet and say, okay, she sent over 5 activity sheets. She got 3 people that are Care Source, 4 on the next sheet, 4 people that are Buckeye on the next sheet, maybe 5 people Anthem, something like that. So just having them on separate sheets. The dates of service don't have to be, the only activity sheet where the date of service is going to be the same is on the groups. But you could put multiple dates of service on one activity sheet, because what happens after we get like all of our billing to a certain point, most of the case managers don't turn in these sheets until every 2 to 3 days. In a perfect world, they get turned in every day, but that's not what's happening. I don't want to mislead y'all. So every 2 to 3 days, they turn in a sheet. So it might be more. So they may have seen Tom yesterday, and then they may have seen Tom today. Then maybe they seen Edward Friday, and they didn't turn in his stuff yet. And then they seen him 2 more days after that, Monday, Tuesday. And then they turned it in. Do you see does that make sense?
Yes.
Am I explaining that good? Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just for me, I'm thinking, since we new to this and just how we can like audit ourselves, I would say for the program that I'm thinking, this is the same thing for the kids, but I would want to do a separate sheet
For each
the
patient.
kids. So that way, when I count, it's like I got to count. Like I got 10 sheets. I got 10. I'm not talking about the day treatment. I'm talking about like the
the individual services like
CPST, mhm.
CVS and
Yeah, the
CPST.
CPST, and then maybe I would do a sheet per kid per those 2 days a week. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
then I would have 2 sheets times 10 kids, or give me 20 sheets. This, or I could do the kids per the family, maybe.
You could, but if you want to, you could do it. That's a good idea to do one per patient, except for the groups. If it's a group, then everybody will be on the same sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's
So
also.
basically, you'll figure out if we not doing it right for a couple of days, you'll tell us like, hey, please
Yeah,
don't do it
let's
like
just switch up the flow. So then that
Yeah.
way let's start off doing it this way. If it works for everybody, we'll keep it that way.
But I want to go back because everything also centers around making it ease of billing as well, right? And so
Yes.
we want to have the same, every sheet will have the same, we've broken out per insurance carrier.
Yes.
Because having work behind the
Well,
scenes.
if each kid has their own sheet, it's
Yeah.
gonna be separated by their insurance because their insurance is gonna be the same.
Well, no, the batches that you get. So when you get the batches of it, it's going to be, the first batch is going to be individual in each individual sheet, but this will be the Molina batch. The
Okay.
next email that'll come over to you will be the care source batch with each individual kid, right?
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. Because we definitely want to make it easy for your billing folks behind the scenes for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions about the daily activity sheet?
Oh, and I did pull up the I just wanted to tell y'all what that H2020 code for group, the permitted places of services, if you go back to that sheet. The daily sheet, activity sheet. The permitted places of service is the school, for only for that H2020 is the school. They don't a homeless shelter, the office, group home, or community behavioral health.
So they are allowed to do it in a group home setting, the boys.
Yep, you can do it at the group home. No, not community. The community behavioral health, it got to be 53. You can't use 99. So the trick to that service, that's the only service you can't do in, like, because community could be anywhere. It's too vague for them. So they want it to be either the 11, 14, 3, 4, or 53 for H2020. Now
So I'm sorry. So you're saying for the group home kid, this is my time, my Edward and John, they cannot use code 14?
Yeah, they can.
They can,
Yes.
because I was always told they can't be in their home, but if they're in a group home setting, they're allowed
Yeah.
to do it. Okay.
Yeah, because it can't be 12 home. It can be a group home.
Okay, but so what about the guys in SUD, substance use disorder?
So because with the
They
people
not
that's in
allowed to do their
SUD,
fees
it's
at their
considered
house.
like guest housing, but because the guest housing, it would qualify for a homeless shelter. So it would be 04. Because they live there, but they don't live there. Do you get what I'm saying? It's guest housing.
Yeah.
It's
So
not their
so we
permanent.
were told that our guys couldn't do their meetings at their group home, at their house where they're staying. So they're residents
But
at
they're
that time.
not doing day treatment groups. They are doing SUD groups. And let me tell you, because some of the rules changed. I'm about to pull it up so I can tell you. They're doing SUD groups, which is H0015, right?
Okay, HUD, okay.
The IOP group, that's what they're
Yeah.
doing at the sober living homes. And the place of services that are acceptable is the school. Oh, yep. Homeless shelter, office, Um,
And that's
16,
okay, because yeah,
they
that-
added two new ones, 16 and 57
Yeah.
here, let me tell you.
yeah, no, we get that. So I want to stay on point with the with with the mental health groups. So the SUD groups, we know we can't do it at the same place, but with the
Non-residential treatment facility, they
With
could
the-
do it there,
with
sorry.
the mental health groups, we can do it office, group home, homeless shelter, community behavioral health, or
In
11,
school,
14, 3, 0,
3,
3,
4, and
0, 4,
53.
and 53.
Yep.
So go over 53 again. What is that? Where is that
That's
at? Give me
that's
an example
a
of-
community, that's what we are, a community behavioral health agency. So remember
So-
where I was telling you that we need, we can add your address onto our license. And then you guys would also be listed as a community behavioral health agency. Because that's what our licensure is. That's why I needed that fire drill inspection. I mean that fire inspection.
So for Salem Avenue, that building on Salem. So,
Yep.
okay, so that wouldn't be considered 11, it'd be considered 53.
Yep.
Okay. But office would be downtown.
Yes.
Right. Okay, all right.
We good with that?
Yep.
All right.
Any other questions
You need to fire.
about this sheet?
So right now, since we don't have our fire drill back, which one do you want us to use for Salem if we having a meeting there?
11.
11, okay.
Okay. All right. So now we are going to transition into which one? Which sheet is this? This is going to be progress notes.
Yes.
All right. Let me pull that up.
I'm tweaking.
Okay. Here we go. Progress notes.
So on here, on the progress notes, you will have one for each person. But the nice part about it is we've been loading everybody into our EHR. So y'all will only really be doing this temporarily. So once we get all y'all loaded in the EHR and get y'all trained on share notes, y'all could go in there and do this. So it'll be automatically in there. So it's gonna prompt you. You could select the client versus having to fill in all this information. But you will put their name, the date. You don't have to worry about the medical record number. That's on us right now. But once you get into share notes, it'll auto populate. You won't have to worry about it. Then you will put the date that you're actually seeing the client. That's what the date would be. Now, the place to service code would be the place to service code would be that 110399. All these are the place to service codes, right? Now, the type of contact, you would just either put FC for face to face. FO we don't really use it. You could put TC if y'all were on the phone, or TO, telephone other. So I want to give y'all some examples. So FC is when a client is in front of you and you're providing a service and they're sitting there. Face other, it could be you doing stuff on the behalf of the client. Like say you're out in the community getting them resources to help them with job opportunities, life skills, any of that. That would be face other. TC is telephone client. So if you're doing stuff on their behalf, and they're actually on the phone, you would use that. TO, telephone other. Say you had to talk to their parole officer, their pastor, people that have a release of information that you could speak about their individual case. You would use that in your documentation. And it's for you guys 3 scenarios that you're going to be using this for 3 different services. And you would also put like if there was a non-billable note, you would explain why. So it would be called. So say if you started this note and you called the client and you didn't get an answer, and you didn't do anything else on their behalf. Honestly, it would really be no point in you filling this out, but
Right.
to document that you called them,
Yeah.
to have a record of it. So assess tangible needs interfering with treatment plan. So if you're doing resourcing for them, which would come down to you doing what we call CPST, which is Community Psychiatric Supportive Treatment Services, they may have a housing. They may need some legal assistance. They may have been assaulted. They may need some help with finances. You're helping them with placement, transportation, cleanliness, abuse and neglect, stressful life, caretaker relief, inadequate services, and interpersonal relationships. Now, if none of these apply, you don't have to check them. If they do, you want to note what you actually, so say if they have a housing thing, I'll give you an example. I had to do some housing resources this morning. So I called our TPS program, which is Toledo Public Schools, and I reached out to the person who was over that program to see how quickly we could get somebody placed in housing, and what the application process will be to get them covered for 18 months. I did that, and once I was done doing that, I got resources. We did completed an application, and so forth and so on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what
And then
tools did you use for that? You used the TO? I can't see it because Peter said that.
yes, telephone other.
Yeah, okay. Now, this, you wouldn't need to fill in assess tangible needs interfering with, because this is not interfering with the treatment plan, right?
Well, for this client in that example, it is, because if they're supposed to be working on their mental health and they got housing issues, we got to focus on those housing issues first.
So now that explains the CPST.
Yep.
That's
So
why
that's
you're doing the CPST for this person.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So this is just, okay, good, I get it.
Because we're gonna
This-
bill for this CPST. So
This just
then,
gives the rationale of why you're doing
Yep.
CPST.
so we have
So-
to document why we're providing the service. So then we go down to assess behaviors. You scrolled up too fast. Okay. Assess behaviorals, attitudinals, mental status change. And we don't even have to do this. This is only like our LSWs and all of that. But this stuff is already gonna be in the system, auto in the system. Like, so if they could be attentive, agitated, passive, not cooperative, drowsy, alert, angry, cooperative, resistant, confused. So you don't necessarily have to do these two things, even though we still click them because we already know our clients. You gonna know your clients. And when they sitting there in front of you, but sometimes they're not sitting in front of you, so you might not have to do this. So like I was on the phone with somebody else, I would skip that whole section for the CPST service, right? I would skip their appearance because I don't know, I'm not seeing them. Their orientation, their speech, thought process, all of that stuff, it would be not applicable. Thought, content, don't know. Insight, don't know. Their mood, I don't know. I wouldn't even do this part either. The yes or no, is there a difference in the client's demeanor, attitude, or movement as it relates to suicidal or homicidal? That does not apply. So current harm to self, NA. Current harm to others, NA. Assault, combative, no, because they not here in front of you. At risk of abuse or victimization, I will put no. Thoughts of harm to other, no. intent to harm self or other. No, the only time if you were doing the CPST and you had the client on the phone and these are the things, or face to face, and you feel like these things are concerns, your answers will be based off of that. Now, past attempt to harm self or others, if you know in their treatment plan or in their service plan that they did, you want to mark yes. Plan to harm self or others, if you don't think that's currently an issue, no. Is there access to the plan method? So if they're like, well, I'm gonna shoot myself, but they don't have access to a gun, you put no. You get what I'm saying? Explain an action plan to keep clients safe and please describe. So y'all would have action plan if any of these were yes. But that would already be listed in their chart online. But while you're doing paper charts, you would just kind of put preventative action was put in place, so that client doesn't have access to means to cause self-harm.
So we don't have to do these every day for the kids that are in group for the H.
No, a lot of this stuff
Going
y'all gonna
on.
be skipping. I'm just going over it.
No, I thought they did a note every day for them, so good. They
Yeah,
learned
you're
it.
gonna do a note every day, but these parts of the notes y'all go. So say
Oh,
if they were in group, y'all would skip right over all of this. So and go all the way down. Well, not all of it. And the
but
top,
this is
say
a
if they were,
CPST.
I was talking about CPST. So and I'm doing CPST where I'm talking to somebody else. So
Okay.
all of that would be no. And no crisis service. I'm not doing a crisis service. So I will circle no on all of those. Then it's right here. It says it asks you what service. I will pick CPST.
Motion detected at parking lot.
Oh, CPST, got it, okay.
So, and then scroll down. I could put that it was a phone call too.
Includes percentage of the client progress or lack of progress in chart below, okay. Do we fill this out? Do we fill this part out too? As the case managers or QMHS?
You could do this for the groups, but for what I just did, the CPST, I wouldn't even. I would skip that. But they would in the system. It's gonna be auto filled. It'll be
Okay.
auto populated.
CPST meaning case manager, is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
So change required and or needs to the individual treatment plan if applicable. You see where it says none, it was none. Nothing changed to their treatment plan. You would put their next visit, sign and date. So
Mhm.
basically you go back up to where, because of what I did, scroll up. Now, right here, this is where you would put what you did. So I will write a note basically that
Under, that note will go under here under comments.
You
Yep.
said you called such and
No,
such for, go ahead. Oh, make
I wanna-
contact or set up the service for them to get housing for 18, something.
So I would do that. I will write it based off of what the state of Ohio would say. So I would say qualified behavioral health specialist. So QBHS, coordinated and assisted client in stabilizing housing. QBHS also advocated and outreach programs.
Also did what?
Advocated and outreach to programs to prevent eviction.
Mhm.
or loss of housing. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Got it.
And their
Any-
goals,
I'm
stuff
sorry.
that they write. Their goals are gonna be stuff that they write. They're gonna already have them in the system.
Okay.
But right now, she might not have no goals, so that nothing would be there. But and and so that was pretty much my intervention too. That I outreach programming and prevented eviction and loss of housing.
So you could just put prevented loss of housing.
Yep. So just pretty much the second sentence.
Be what?
The second sentence.
And or housing, loss of housing, prevention of loss of housing.
Okay, then scroll back up to the top because I know it's something that we didn't, the time, how much time it took me to do this, right? And the client to therapist ratio, it would have been 1-on-1 because I'm doing the service with on their behalf, 1-on-1.
I put type of contact 1-on-1.
No, the type of contact is
F
telephone other.
telephone other. Yeah.
Client ratio to therapist, 1-on-1.
Okay, gotcha.
Time in, say I started the call at 8 o'clock. And time in will be 8 a.m. That's the time out. And I was done by 9:30. So it was an hour, the total time was an hour and a half, which is
60 and 30 is 90.
90 minutes. Yeah.
So do you do two notes for this person? Do you do a separate one for the time that you talk to him? That was the F.
Yeah, I would do
TC.
I would do two notes because
TNTO.
but for this part of it, I'm just doing case management.
Okay, so
And
for example, so could you do another one that say TC, because that was them talking to you and then you finding out what was going on and what you need to
yeah,
do? Okay.
and I just put, and honestly, it took me 90 minutes to do everything, to talk to the client and do resourcing for them as well. So I would split the time up. So maybe I talked to her from 8 to 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, I did the resourcing for her. But it will all build together because it all happened on the same day, the CPST. But you want to put in the notes what happened.
So you could do
And
three.
and
I'm sorry.
really, you could just do one and save yourself from doing two sheets. I would
Okay.
put TO/TC and then in the note go down. I will put comment client QBHS received call from client stating,
They were gonna lose their housing.
yep,
They were unable to pay their rent or something, or they looking at eviction, they got an eviction notice or something.
yep.
I think that our hardest part will be just to keep the details out of it that are not, like you said, the Medicaid, the
Yeah, we
code,
don't want to overshare, but we want to follow the rules of
the state
state.
code. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what we gonna need help with a lot.
So we just need to make sure that and then that way we could do client reviews as y'all do like individualized services. Now, let's do one for a group.
Case note for a group.
Mhm.
Okay. Hey, Catherine, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
So let's see. Let's if we can, Ms. Kenyatta, let's see if let's use Catherine as our guinea pig right now for this. We're gonna do a case note for a group, Catherine, and we're gonna see what you know, and then whatever wherever you need help, you just Miss Kenyatta can jump in. So this is a group, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
The only sucky part about doing it, I just want to give y'all a quick disclaimer. The only part that I don't like about having to do like the physical progress notes right now is that you kind of got to do this for each person. But the other thing is that everybody's for that group is going to be the exact same. So you're just going to be changing their name and stuff and how they responded to the treatment.
So
But go ahead. You can go.
Catherine, you want to go ahead? We're working through.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I mean, I hate that right when I'm doing something. I have to give Oliver his stuff and talk to him really quick. So that's where I'm actually at right now.
Okay, so I'll go through it and you just jump in when you finish.
Okay,
So
yeah, it's not gonna be long.
we're gonna say Oliver E.
Can I ask,
You could put the client name because these are going into their individual files.
Okay, so the date today is 2-8-2024. Type of contact, face-to-face, which is
FC.
FC. Place of contact, she's at his home.
So is they're doing a group? Because we're writing a note for a group.
Okay, let's say, okay, no, they're at the activity center on Salem. So that would be office. 11 would be the code.
Mhm.
The ratio would be
How many people are there?
12 people are there.
Okay.
They're going to start at 5. I'm sorry, they're going to start at 4 o'clock, and they're going to end at 6:30 for a total time of 150 minutes.
Okay.
so is this for 40, I mean, is this for H2020?
Yes.
I see 2020, I guess.
Assets, assess tangible needs.
Interfering with the treatment plan. It's a group though. So
Right. So
right now, so it might be one person in the group that y'all may have to pull to the side, but it might not. In more cases than not, it's not going to be nothing there.
okay.
Oh,
All
so
right.
the
So there's
person-
no comments. There's no comments. There's no goal, right?
Everybody gonna have individual goals individualized based on client. So you it wouldn't be nothing there. Then the intervention services is what y'all worked on in group. So QBHS and clients.
Yeah.
QBS and clients worked on anger management coping skills.
And you could say, and you want to.
And what else they were? And job placement, job readiness skills.
I mean, are they doing all that at once?
Between
So
that, between
I
that
could tell
four,
you
go ahead.
so like yesterday we were working on the what? Like who am I and what do I want?
Okay.
So working on but let's say instead we were working on how we manage our emotions. So working on anger and coping skills, right?
Right.
This is where I use the law to write the notes. So you put QBHS and client working on anger management and and emotions.
Okay.
Hold on, we gotta say like what the outcome. So Clients and QBHS discussed different activities that could best help them manage their emotions, and shared information about a time when they didn't manage their emotions properly. Where is this?
During only licensed staff, but he was attentive
Yep.
and he was alert.
So
Okay.
each kid gets one of these, right,
Yep.
for that day? Okay, but you can use the same one.
But
just
this
for
the
different
same
boxes.
note will be the same for everybody, but how they responded may be different. Some kids might be passive, they may be angry, they may be agitated, maybe they're confused and y'all have to redirect them.
We have some that are not well, like they just refuse to get their clothes together. Yeah, like
He
so
was
we
well-
had a kid that wears girl clothing, and yeah, I would say it'd be inappropriate if it's causing their safety to be an issue with others. So okay, go ahead.
So then you would go to their appearance. So this is, I'll be honest, this is why when we do groups, our kids have notebooks and they write that way. Even the little smaller kids, they give them like a motion chart and they circle stuff versus because they might not necessarily know how to spell or write the words properly. So we do like an emotional chart. So you would, as the staff, this is why we say no more than 12 people to a staff, because you got to pay attention to their appearance. Were they clean, well groomed, dirty, disheveled, inappropriate clothing? You will select that for each. So this section, you will select it based off of the individual. The note will be for the whole group. Make sense?
So the note under under intervention, the note, you say the note, you're talking about this, right?
Yep. It's gonna
So
be the same.
The intervention is
The same.
Okay.
Yes.
And the assessment part here is individualized
Yes.
because each kid may come in with a different mood.
Yep.
Each kid may come in with different appearance. Yeah, and
Yes.
they will actually. You will have.
Careful
It needs to be
with that.
different.
Putting the appearance on there but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't and nobody's reading these notes but us. So if they not well groomed or if they dirty or disheveled or inappropriate clothes, you want to note that because those may be some things that we need to address later.
Okay.
How we can best help them.
And then yes or no, is there a difference in the child's demeanor, the client's demeanor, attitude, or movement as it relates to suicidal or homicidal?
Yes.
And that's
We will answer them. Most of the time it's gonna be no, but we still answer them because you never know. Because we have to keep in mind we're natural reporters. If we leave anything important out and then something happens, they're gonna be asking us like, well, they were with you on this day at this time. What were they like? You would be able to go into the system and pull this up and say, well, this is what happened when they were at group.
okay. All right, so we got that section there. We got to fill out this section of the homicidal, suicidal. Again, we got to fill that section we need to fill out. And then this part right here is a plan agreed by the client. What is that? Walk us through that.
Go up. It's about the safety plan.
The safety
Explain
plan.
the action plan to keep clients safe. Please describe. If they don't have issues for safety, you don't have to do that.
Gotcha.
You get that. And this is for crisis services only. If they're not in crisis, you don't have to answer those.
Okay.
So it will be automatically a no. Then you will pick the service performed. It will be day treatment. Cause a lot of times they want to pick group counseling, but it's day treatment.
Got it.
And we will have medical documentation in their treatment plan. So it'll be yes for that.
And then this language here provided concise layout of services provided.
See, and look, right there is a case manager assisted, but y'all will put QBHS assisted client identifying strategy or treatment options. This is basically, a lot of times they just keep this here and they remove and add what they need to be put there. Hold on, I'm sorry. How did I
Yeah.
do that? Sorry, touching the screen. Can you scroll it? So it says case manager assisted client in identifying strategies or treatment options associated with his mental illness. You would remove like substance use because they don't got a substance use disorder. With the goals of minimizing negative effects of the symptoms, emotional disturbances, or associated environmental stressors which interfere with the individual's daily living. This is basically like a SOAP note, and y'all would remove and add stuff as it applies to the client.
Right. I see that. Okay. Yeah. I like it.
Client was open and receptive to various ways to minimize the negativity in his life and promote. I will change that to sound mental health, not sobriety. They just put that on there for our people in the sober living homes.
Well, this could
Include
be
the percentage of,
or this could be, we talk about SOAP notes, this could be a client was not open, right?
Yep.
What about client was indifferent?
Yep, you could put that.
Say, you know what, I don't have those words that Kenyatta had gave us, those, she gave
That
us
list.
that behavioral.
Yep, I have them. I'm about to resend it.
Behavioral, the smiley face.
Peterson had them up on the thing, but I didn't get them in my email. Y'all had them listed on the training, but I didn't get them in my.
Under that QBHS training. Hold on. Let me send it to you.
And it said include the percentage of the client's progress or lack of client progress by using the chart below.
So if you think they working on it, they at like 75%. I would say that.
Okay. Client was engaged and open. Got it. Okay. Okay. And then change is required.
Or needed to the treatment plan. So this is right now it's say none, and I'm gonna tell you why. So sometimes say this client was in group, but they were distant and they had issues going on. They participated in group, but after group, the case manager pulled them to the side, and the client was saying that they were feeling like really depressed or feeling sad or something, right? And depression is not in their individual treatment plan. You would email the LSW to let them know that, and you will put it in here. You will put client displaying signs of depression. Reassessment may need to be performed.
Okay.
Then we put the next day they come in, probably tomorrow if they doing group pretty much every day, and then you will sign a date. That's it.
And with the case notes, the case notes are turned in how often to you guys? How often we turn the case notes?
They should be turned in daily because I match them up against that daily sheet, activity sheet, to make sure for every activity that's listed on here, we have a case note for.
Got it. Case notes. So case notes and
activity sheets.
The activity sheet. So case notes and activity sheets, daily activity sheets are to be turned in daily. Okay. Now, once we get to so right now in the beginning, we'll be doing this. Our case managers and QBHSs will be doing these
On paper.
hard copy right now.
Yeah, so it's been 2 days. We've been working, putting everybody in the system. We're almost done. Now, when we get everybody in the system, they'll schedule a training date for us, but we don't want to wait for the company's training date for us to start doing services,
Okay,
the EHR.
okay,
So they want to walk us through how they want us to use it, even though I worked in Share Notes before. So originally we were going to use Therapy Notes, but they started. So first it was just $25